Hello guys and welcome back to another video of Wombo Factory. I'm here Lekanda and I show you a replay of my Dragonmaid deck that I played against a virtual world deck. So rock, paper, scissors, I won. Then I choose to go first. My starting hand was Skullmeister, World Legacy God Dragon, Tiding, Phantasme, Pot of Prosperity, and my opponent's hand was Virtual World Chinglong, Nian, Lily, Gigi, and Cosmic. Then I start off with Prosperity since I didn't have a starter, and I was really lucky he didn't have the Ash on it, because otherwise it would have been a pass. I go for 3 and mill Skull, Phantasme, and Black Metal, and of course I take the Black Metal. I have a starter in hand. And even if he had like Ash on the Black Metal, I would still end on Spheres because I had God Dragon. Then normal summon, going to link 1, and as you can see, he didn't have the Ash. And then here I had to decide if I go for Guard Dragon into Spheres and set Hiding, or if I want to go full combo with Phantasme as fusion material. And I decided to go full combo because he didn't Ash my 2 cards, so I was really pretty sure he didn't have a hand trap. I will banish Striker, affect Black Metal, Red MD, sorry, bring back Black Metal, go into Spheres, then World Legacy God Dragon, into LP, move LP, bring out Chamber, search the changeover, and then I go straight into the fusion and I leave LP on field because then he has to deal with it. Into Shao, set my Tiding, and I think this is pretty good board. I have 1 interruption, 2, 3, and some follow up with Shao, bring back Chamber. So he drew Gamma for turn. I in standby, I bring out Chamber effects, search Hospitality, and then he used Cosmic. And here I was really thinking if I should negate it with Shao, because I could bounce like LP back and use it again, or bounce Chamber, and that I have a starter for next turn. But I decided to let it go through, and I think it was the right choice because, as you can see, he had Gamma in hand. So then I let the activation go through, and I bounce on Lily. So we need to have some other virtual world cards in hand. And with this, I bring out Parlor, dump Tiding. Then he activates Chinglong again, activates Gigi. And here I could have negated it, but since it would play into Gamma again, I didn't want to. And Gigi is not, if it was a Lulu, or yes, a Lulu, I would negate it, but Gigi for me is not that of a problem, I think. And then he went into Xyz and just attack, so he can go into Zeus. And then here I realized that Parlor is in 0/0 because of seal effect, so it don't get the damage, and my monster gets sent. And then here he activates Chinglong on my Shao to negate it. And I think it would have been better if I just let it negate, and then he would send it with Zeus. I could bring it back with either Hospitality or Tiding. but I decided to negate it, and I think this was a misplay of mine. And then Zeus effect, just wipe the whole board. Then I decided to use tiding in end phase, so he either has to use Zeus to send it again, otherwise it will come back to hand and I have a starter again, because otherwise I would just have hospitality. And then I get it back to hand. And here, unfortunately, I draw another starter, so I could save this tiding, but I didn't know that, so I think it was the right play. Then I go hospitality to special parlor and send the big form of her. Then I send tiding again. And I already fusion grid, yeah. And then I just want to bait out the Zeus, and if you don't, I get my fusion. So we didn't negate and fusion effect to bring back both to hand. Then I go straight into fusion. And here I could also normal sum the chamber, but I had some follow up for next turn. But I think I didn't realize it at this moment that I still didn't normal sum. Then in draw phase he activates Zeus. And here I also had two options, either negate it or not. And if I didn't negate it, I could bring him back with tiding, but in defense, so he could just run over it and my negate would fizzle. So I decided to negate it and bring out a house, and you will see why. Because now in standby I can activate tiding, bring back the parlor, send the big form of nurse, and then activate house still in standby that I can special summon chamber and get another search. But here he was really lucky that he can resolve gamma since he had it in starting hand. So first he said okay, then no, and I let it go through because I'm not sharking my opponent. And then I just go fast forward because I only had one interruption. He sniped the chamber, and yeah, he activates Chinglong, I activate Skull on that. But he had just too much, and I scooped the first game. So we go into game 2. Game 2 was a really cool game. So my starting hand was Guard Dragon, Nurse, Tiding, Chamber, and Strike. And my opponent was Lily, Ash, Pot of Desires, GG, and Jingle. So I start off with Chamber, and I get Ash there. Then turn this into Striker. Revive Chamber with Word Legacy. And just go into Sphere since I have two traps. I was really confident there. And then for top deck he drew the Cosmic, which was really unfortunate. Then he starts off with Pot of Desires, drawing to Gamma and Virtual World Chuche. And he snipes my tiding again, which is really bad because my grind game will not be that good because I'm already one tiding back because it gets banished. Then he activates Jinglong, activate Lily, and I strike that. Here, I think I made a misplay. Yeah, I knew he could have Gamma, but I misplayed because if I strike that, he can just go Qinglong, banish Lily, and negate my spheres, so the bounce will not come. And then on GG, I activate spheres. So this was really bad for me because I just played into Gamma. And I said I didn't use spheres because I strike it, so this was really big misplay. But the second effect of Seal came up. Then Parlor, Dump Tiding. Then it goes into M7. And here I decided to use, on the resolution of the summon, to use Tiding. Because otherwise he could ash my chamber. Bring out Nurse, Nurse bring back Chamber, Chamber gets me Hospitality. And then I think my opponent knew, but Nurse will come back to my hand in the end phase, and here he misplayed, he just attacked my other two monsters. And then activates Qinglong to negate Nurse, so he has two names in grave for Chuche. Then goes into Zeus, but didn't use because he had like Chuche, Qinglong up. In end phase he will add Lily, and I add back my Nurse. For turn I draw Ash Blossom, and I see I have one normal summon to bring back something and one Hospitality. I start off with Hospitality, which gets Ash, then I normal summon Nurse, bring back the Parlor. Parlor dumps me the third Tiding, and then I go into Spheres, because I thought maybe it would just be a bluff, but it turns out it was Chuche, so he pops my Spheres. Then he activates Lily. Then on Qinglong effect I Ash, so I don't die this turn. He negates Lily that he has again two different names in banish zone for Chuche. And then he attacks with for 4800. And here, oh, I just realized, let me check logs. Yeah, here I did the illegal move by activating Nurse again, but I didn't do that on purpose. And my opponent didn't catch it either. And then he pops the Nurse, so it will not go back to hand, but this was an illegal move by me. So for turn I draw a Pot of Prosperity, go for 3, and then I take the black medal. Then I get red MD to hand. And then I go for Romulus, because I didn't have his spheres in this one, because I banished one with Prosperity. No, I would still have one, sorry. But I get the Ravine access. Then I go red MD, so I can bait. He didn't have Chuche up, so I tried to bait the Zeus. Which actually worked. So he didn't have the interruption in hand, on field, and one card left. in hand. I go Hospitality, Nurse, dump the big form, go Chamber. Chamber gets me the fusion. And then I activate Ravine, dump the changeover, dump lore par, that I get some more advantage to hand, because in battle phase I can just bring both back to field. And then activate fusion on lore part and go fusion summon for Shao. And I bring back Nurse from hand. Nurse gets chamber. And here I didn't have a target left. Then he gets GG. And then it just groups. And then for game 3 it was really fast because my opponent bricked. And my opponent goes first and has Triple T, Cosmic, Kowloon, Ash and Gamma. And I had Guard Dragon, Cyclone, Hospitality, Tiding, Skull. So no starter again. But I would have one hand trap, but this would play into Triple T. So it just pass. And I was really lucky that I draw Black Metal for turn. I go normal summon, Strike a Dragon, he ashes. I go Word Legacy. And then he just scoops. So yeah, this was the replay. I hope you enjoyed and hope to see you next time. Bye bye.